Have you ever had that feeling, where you're just drowning in a sea of tasks and you can't even see the shore? Yeah, you are not alone. Well, today, we're going to fix that. We're going from that feeling of chaos to total clarity with a system called Kanban. See, here's the real problem. So much of our work these days is completely invisible. It's all the emails, the follow-ups, the ideas bouncing around in your head. All of it just lives up there, creating this constant, low-level hum of anxiety. It's a to-do list you can't see, but you can definitely feel it, right? So, that is our mission today. We're going to take all that invisible work, all that mental clutter, and we're going to drag it out into the light. We're going to transform it into something clear, visible, and actually manageable. So, how do we actually do this? Well, we use this brilliantly simple, and I mean really simple, but powerful system for seeing your work. So let's get right into it. What exactly is Kanban? Okay, at its heart, Kanban is a visual way to manage your workflow. The name itself is Japanese, and it literally just means signboard. I want you to think of it like a set of traffic signals for your projects. It uses these really simple visual cues to track every single task as it moves from not started all the way to completely finished. And this isn't some brand new productivity fad. Not at all. Kanban has a serious history. It was actually born on the factory floors of Toyota back in the 1940s, and it was designed to make their manufacturing incredibly efficient. Now let's fast forward to today, and that exact same idea has been adopted all over the world. But now it's supercharged by all these digital tools we have right at our fingertips. So, how does it work? To really get Kanban, you only need to understand three core elements. That's it. These are the fundamental building blocks that create that clarity we're all searching for. And here they are. It's really just these three things: the board, the cards, and what I like to call the secret weapon, the WIP limits. Now, it looks simple, and it is, but the real power, the magic, is in how these three things work together. So let's start with the first two. The board. That's your entire process, made visible. You split it into columns that show the different stages of your work. The classic to-do, in progress, and done. And then you have the cards. Each card is one specific task. It's a piece of work that you physically or digitally move across the board as you get things done. But honestly, it's this third piece that makes Kanban so powerful. Let's talk about WIP, or work in progress limits. This is just a simple rule you set for yourself. It's a strict maximum on the number of task cards you're allowed to have in an in-progress column at any one time. Now, you might be thinking, why on earth would I want to limit my work? Because it forces you to do the most important thing of all, to stop starting and start finishing. See, most of us just keep piling new tasks on. WIP limits change everything. You can only pull in new work when you actually have the space for it. And that simple change instantly shines a massive spotlight on your bottlenecks, the exact places where work is getting stuck. And because this system is so simple at its core, it's also incredibly versatile. So let's look at Kanban in action, and you'll see how these same principles apply literally everywhere, from a massive factory floor all the way down to the phone that's in your pocket right now. This is where you really see its flexibility. For an office team writing articles, the workflow could be drafting, review, approved. For your personal life, it could be as simple as to do, today, and done. In a factory, it's about physical parts. But do you see the pattern? The core idea is identical. Work is pulled into the next stage only when there's room. You don't pull a new chore into your today column if you're already at your limit. That right there, that's the magic. Okay, so you get it. You see the power. You see how flexible it is. So, how do you actually start? Let's walk through a really simple 5-step guide you can use to build your very first Kanban board like today. So, 5 key steps. First, visualize your workflow. And don't invent some ideal process, just map out what you actually do right now. Second, and this is crucial, define those WIP limits. Be really honest with yourself about how much you can handle at once. Third, manage the flow. Just watch where the cards get stuck. That's your bottleneck. Fourth, create feedback loops. Talk about what's working and what's not. And finally, step 5, continuously improve. Use the data to tweak and refine your process over time. And hey, while you can absolutely start with a physical whiteboard and some sticky notes, which is a great way to learn, there are some incredible digital tools that make this whole thing effortless. Popular choices these days include Trello, Asana, Jira, and Monday.com, and they all have great features to help you get going. The most important thing to take away from all of this is what you see right here. The goal of Kanban isn't just to do more work faster. It's about creating a calm,
focused and sustainable flow. It's about finishing what you start and finally quieting that constant noise of all that invisible work.
So I'll leave you with this question to think about. Now that you've seen how this system works, what is the one bottleneck in your work, or maybe even in your personal life, that you could make visible on a board right now?